Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. My name is Patrick O'Brien, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at the center. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are most certainly welcome here. We believe that we are co-creators with the divine, and that we can change our lives just by changing our mind. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy, and we teach the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. Please visit our website at cslcapecoral.org for information on upcoming events, to submit prayer requests, or to send your comments and questions. Okay, please stand as we welcome you and bestow our blessing on one another. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful that you are here. Welcome to the center. That's better. It is great to see so many of you here at the center. And I'd like to welcome our guest speakers, Armand and Angelina. Armand is an award-winning songwriter and inspirational speaker whose enthusiastic presence inspires us all to love life passionately. Angelina's heart's opening and angelic voice draws from many languages. She was classically trained at the Indiana University and was formerly with the Epcot Center. They are international performers using songs, stories, and humor to remind us now to open our hearts and remember that we are meant to experience heaven on earth. Please welcome to the stage Armand and Angelina.
It is absolutely amazing to be back with you after all these years. We usually don't go this long. We won't let it happen again. There was some kind of little health thing that kept us away. But we are super glad to be back and super glad that you are doing as well, because as we've traveled around the country, things have just started opening up in July, and everything has been way underattended until the concert last night, until this morning. We're seeing, yeah. So it's wonderful that you're all moving in that direction. We're going to start off with one of our most favorite songs inspired by the movie, The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And we're going to put an island twist to it. Okay. Here we go. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. That's your part. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everybody sing it now. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Nothing in this universe will ever last. So if you're feeling low, this too shall pass, because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. We're gonna sha-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Every happy song has to have some sha-la-la-las. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Even when the darkness seems to hide your way, after every night, a brand new day. Even when the COVID tried to hide your way, after every night, a brand new day. Because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. We're gonna sha-la-la again. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la. Here comes the tricky part, religious scientists. Even when it all just seems to go your way, don't get attached, it's gonna change. Even when it all just seems to go your way, no matter how many times you saw The Secret, it's still gonna change. But that's okay, because everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. It's not the end. It's not the end. So if you don't like the weather, wait a day. It's not the end. It's not the end. Look, no hands. But this is the end. Woo! All right, so James and Lily have been kind enough to host us for the last 2 days at their home. And I gotta tell you, waking up with a little kid like her is a great way to start the day. She will remind you to stay in the now, because everything you thought you were gonna do at a certain time doesn't happen. And so she really helped me do that, as she always does, so thank you. Yeah, she called me a chicken butt. I don't know why. Turkey head. Okay. All right. So we were talking this morning, and we were sharing ideas, and we really are twin brothers of a different mother in a lot of ways. And we were talking about the concept. So our message today is there's no such thing as rejection. Okay. Now, how many people have ever felt rejected? How'd that feel? Not so good. So the good news is it's not real. It only appears real in the moment based upon your expectations and what you thought was going to happen. And we've all been through that kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking about that a lot. Now, one of the things that is a challenge about those kinds of things is even when you get over them on some level, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, or whatever, the voices in your head tell you otherwise. They want to tell you that you're still stuck back there. The voices keep you in the past and keep you in the future, but do not like this holy now moment.
And sometimes they are very loud.
And sometimes they are really loud, especially when you're trying to sleep at night. So that's a really challenging. Have you ever had trouble sleeping because of the thoughts in your head? So you think thoughts about how much trouble you're having sleeping because of the thoughts in your head? Thank goodness, I find that Audible and earbuds really help. I go, okay, voices, listen to that so I can go to sleep. Okay, and it really does help. So we're going to sing a chant now. And what is our thing for the month? Breathe in the joy. What is our monthly theme?
The view.
Breathe in the view. It's really hard to breathe in the view when the voices are keeping you in the past and keeping you in the future. So we want to be thinking about that today. We breathe in better when we get over those old ideas that something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. It always happens the way it's supposed to. Okay, so this is, I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try to tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. The silence offers me another way. Hear the static? That's what the voices do. You tune into spirit and the static goes away. Quieting the mind, using your spiritual tools to remind you of the truth of who you are. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try and tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try and tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. The silence offers me another way.
In the space behind the voices, pure awareness comforts me. In the space behind the voices, I am love and I am free.
I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try and tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. The silence offers me another way.
In the space behind the voices, pure awareness comforts me. In the space behind the voices, I am love and I am free.
I still hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try and tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. The silence offers me another way. I still hear the voices.
Behind the voices,
They try and tell me.
awareness comforts me.
I still hear the voices.
Behind the voices,
The silence offers me.
I am free.
I hear the voices in my head, but I'm not listening. They try and tell me that I'm not okay. I hear the voices in my head, no longer listening. The silence offers me another way. I can hear him right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that jacket? Those shoes, who does he think he is, Tim Flowers?
Oh, God, I hope I did okay. I always get a little nervous singing that song. I don't know why. Oh, my gosh, I hope I just want to be
It's
perfect.
all right,
Why
all
can't
is
I
well.
be perfect? And,
I'm here to remember
God,
that
I'm
all is
having a
well.
bad
I'm
hair
being
day
me.
of
I'm
all
here to be
days.
me, and
Oh,
that's
good
good
heavens.
enough.
Okay, take a breath, take a breath.
And so it is. This too shall pass. Thank you. So it has been quite the roller coaster ride for the last few years. And I remember the first phase was not having to work at all and being free and getting this cool thing that I never had, which is passive income in the mailbox. Thank you, pandemic unemployment. It was awesome. It was awesome. It really helped. And so that lasted about 4 months. And during that 4 months, we were extra creative. It was just fun. We did like 100 YouTube videos. Now, we had never done really YouTubes before. And we thought, well, we got to learn how to do something from the house. We turned our guest bedroom into a music room. And it was awesome. It was great. And it was like, this really feels right. And then it didn't. Because I was not fully self-expressed. I need this. I need you. In the ADHD world, which the new term for ADHD is VAST, V-A-S-T, variable attention stimulus trait. It doesn't have the word disorder in it. Okay, so we're all on that spectrum to some extent, but some more than others. And I didn't realize I was as much on the VAST spectrum until I didn't have stimulating things to do.
Right.
And then I
And you were
realized-
also missing vitamin C.
I was missing vitamin C. Now, everybody needs vitamin C, but folks on the VAST spectrum need two versions of vitamin C and vitamin Connect. The other vitamin C. And we all need that.
That's right.
You know, people tell me, oh, you can get everything you need spiritually. You don't have to go to a center or anything. You can get that from watching Super Soul Sunday or any of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, but you can't get Vitamin Connect watching TV. You need to be here with other like minds that will remind you of who you are. And so I was missing a lot of Vitamin Connect. I was getting a form of vast scurvy. Okay, I just made that up. The squirrel. Anyway.
So I would take Armand, you know, I would grocery shop every couple of weeks instead of every week. But I said, Armand, you got to go with me. You got to connect with people. You got to. And he's so fun to go shopping with because he's so joyous with everyone around him, and he brings smiles and laughter to everyone. So I would drag him out to anywhere I had to go. And so after a while, I was like, where are we going today? Where do you need to go shopping today?
I enjoyed getting out of the house so much. I would go to these places. Old-time pottery. Hobby Lobby. Joann's Fabrics. All these places that I would never want to go normally. And I was like, let me in there. There's people to talk to. There's things to do. Angelina found out some real silver lining of the mask. Now, I don't know about you, but masks are not really fun, especially at a theme park, which is one of my favorite things, wearing a mask all day outside. They're not that fun, but she found a beautiful silver lining.
Right. So when I go buy wine at Publix or wherever, I would get carded when I had my mask on. So, like, you know, who needs Botox, right? Just put the mask on. So I found that refreshing.
And another exciting, besides me becoming aware, when I was about 9, I had a lot of difficulty through some childhood challenges. And they took me to see a shrink. And they didn't have the word VAST or ADHD or any of that back then. That was only 69 or something. And but they just said hyperactive disruptive disorder. And I think about my career now. I'm making a living doing what got me sent to the principal's office all the time. It's amazing. Questioning authority, entertaining, wearing inappropriate clothing. I mean, just whatever I had to do. And but anyway, it worked out. And I also realized how perfect this career for us is, especially with my condition. And so, you know, just learning about that helped me understand how I could better treat it myself, and whether I needed some extra support, which I have used as well. I grew up in a family of pharma shamers. And I'm not here to promote pharma or medicine, but I am telling you, fear of it is not good either. And I grew up in a world that basically, it wasn't Christian Scientists, but it was kind of like that, where anything to do from medicine was bad for you. And I'm thinking, isn't it all God? Can't you use all of it in a way to support you and find your own personal cocktail of what's going to work for you and help you to live your most full life? So anyway, we're not going to get into all that because we have all kind of different opinions about that. And I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I had an argument with, I have a friend of mine that lives in Louisiana. I grew up as a Cajun in Louisiana. And he and I, in the last 4 years, we never talked much politics until maybe 2016. Anybody else? That's when things really got dicey, and everybody started digging in. As a matter of fact, if you watch some of the old All in the Family shows, they did that kind of debate, and it was pretty vigorous, but then they let it go and they had dinner. We got to get back to that. You know, I read a book one time, it said something to the effect of, we don't need to quit disagreeing. We need to learn how to disagree civilly and compassionately. Okay, that's how we do it, you know?
Right.
So this friend and I were arguing about something, and he says to me, Armand, I would agree with you about that, but then we'd both be wrong. And we both laughed. The conversation stopped there because we were just laughing and realized he had brought levity into this argument with that kind of a conversation. So we need to just have as much fun as we can. So that's what worked for me the most during the challenges. It felt like I was being rejected by my job. It felt like that, but it wasn't, okay? It was moving me in what I needed at the time the most. And Angelina found a bunch of things as well.
Right. So for me, I'm more of the shy introvert type. So I found that when we were home for that long period of time, it was what I really needed. You know, we were on the road like 260 days a year, and not enough time for me to be home, you know, my sanctuary to recharge and even just get things done, you know. So I found I'm a project person. So I cleaned out the garage, and I cleaned and organized the closets and everything. And now I feel so much better. Everything's in place at home. I'm ready to get back on the road. The other thing I found is about 3 years ago, I had a lump in my throat, and it scared me, especially being a singer. So I went to the doctor, and he said, there's nothing wrong with my vocal cords, but what you have is called a global sensation. And so they don't really know what causes it, but they say stress and anxiety can be a big part of what causes it. And that it eventually goes away. It takes a while sometimes. Sometimes it comes back or it doesn't go away. But during this time that we've had where we weren't on the road, not performing, the lump in my throat is gone. So, yeah, grateful for that. Yeah. So the pandemic was really important for me to slow down and make sure that I have downtime and home time. And it's been a perfect timing because I am definitely ready to be back out. It's really hard when you're an introvert and you love being around people, you know. So I love being around everyone, and then if I don't get time by myself, I get drained, I feel tired, I feel, you know, it's a conflict that I live with, but knowing that if I do go and be by myself and, you know, when we're on the road, get a hotel room where we're not around people, just a day even of nothingness really helps me. So knowing that really helps me be able to do this work with Armand.
And it's helped me understand how important her way is, because I always thought when she gets like that, it's because she needs me to help motivate her to do it my way. I really did. I'm being really honest. That's how controlling I was. I used to be a severe control freak, and then I healed a lot of that. And what recovery is, and you never get rid of it completely if you're a control addict, so you learn other things that are a little more passive aggressive, like, no, I'll just strongly suggest. You know, and she would go along because she loves what we do. And I realized we were doing too much, even for me. A lot of it was me compensating for not treating my condition by trying to constantly stay dopamine up. If you know about dopamine, I say everything's about dopamine. Meditation is about dopamine. Hanging out with people that you love is about dopamine. You have to find a way to get healthy, balanced amounts of dopamine. Too much is not good. She's seen me there. Too little is not good because you're in a tough place. So find your balance of whatever that takes. And this career is wonderful for me, but not from a place of I've got to keep us working. I think we did 271 days 1 year on the road because that kept me dopamined up, but it was not good for her. And so she got a little jealous that I got this new vast word because I get to use it all the time. She goes, I want my letters. I need letters. And I said, well, honey, you came from like a Leave It to Beaver household. You're not going to get letters like us neurodivergents. But then I realized I got letters for her. OCPC. That's obsessive compulsive project condition.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. You should see our pantry.
So we're talking today about there's no such thing as rejection, just God pointing us in another direction. And so we talk about like the hardships that can happen, but we don't want to stay there too long, like you say, Armand.
Yeah, so what I like to say is this. If we don't own our pain, if we don't own the physical discomfort, if we don't own the emotional discomfort, the mental discomfort, if we don't go there at all, we're going to get emotionally constipated, okay? So we're going to become very irregular, okay? So you've got to go there. You just don't want to buy property there,
Right.
okay? Go there, visit.
Because you need to go there. You don't want to be in denial of, what's going on. So, but it's like how, feel it, be upset, cry as we talked about last night.
Beat
so
a
there's
pillow.
freedom on the other side. Scream it out, whatever, but how quickly you can move on to the other side of that is important.
Yeah, and how many things have you thought were the end of the world? I remember when my dad told me at prom that I could not use his Cadillac. Now, I thought, I'm going to get this girl in a Cadillac. Things are going to go very nicely for me. He said, nope, you're driving your 68 Plymouth Satellite. I'm like, you do not know the girl that said yes. I'm not taking her in that Plymouth Satellite. Anyway, that was a big deal to me. It's ridiculous. I got stuck in that. For a long time, I felt so rejected by my dad. The quicker we can get from feeling what we feel to trusting that all is well, the better things will be. Think about all the things that you did that you thought were the end of the world, that were devastating, that turned out okay. Anybody have a first marriage? Kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. We know, I'm not bringing Cassie's name up, but anyway, worked out. The thing is, it does. We just have to have those trust. And we have all these little wonderful tools. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end, okay? That's a tool that we can use when we need it. Eckhart Tolle, this too shall pass. Everything's in divine order. I know that Ernest Holmes and Charles Fillmore both, in their time, that was a big deal to bring out to the front, because so many religions at the time were saying everything's only right if you do everything right. Anybody ever grow up that way? How's that working for you? You know, and then we learned through these great spiritual teachers, Ernest Holmes talking, everything's in divine order, even the stuff that you don't understand.
And that kind of takes out the judgment of, oh, I did it wrong. You know, like if it's divine order, it's the way it's supposed to be. And so there's no judging yourself that you didn't do it right or I could have done it differently. You know, that's why I really love that.
And
that
we're always
philosophy.
trying to find the balance between our human self and our spiritual self. Okay, so the spiritual self says everything's fine. The human self says, no, it's not. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. That's a way to bring them together.
So maybe
okay?
we should talk about our audition and what happened there, because that's a
Okay.
good example of.
Yep. We decided, she kind of said, I don't like not having a guest room. I love our music studio, but I want this to be out of here. But we were kind of attached to having a full-time music studio. So she put out a little prayer, Dear Universe, one of our YouTube videos. Tell them about our YouTube video.
Right, so we had the the Universal Diner, and we would ask, take an order. Can I take your order, please? And one of the orders was, we'd like to have an addition built onto our house so we can have a music room and do YouTubes and Zoom performances and that kind of thing.
So I was the worker, and I said, let me check the menu, ma'am. That is not on the menu at this time, but when it does come in, we'll let you know. So that's what we did. We did little silly YouTubes. We read the Daily Word, and we played flute, and we just did a little skit, and she produced every one of them, which she had never done that kind of production before. She'd wake me up out of bed.
Simple.
We're doing a video, Armand. Here's what you're wearing. Get out there. And I said, do I need a script? No, you'll probably think of something on the spot to say. So we just did that, and we did, maybe 90 of them. And so the very next day after we did that little skit, $30,000 showed up in my checking account, which we figured would pay for that. And what had happened is early in April, I had applied for this small business disaster loan and just forgot about it. I applied for it, and there it was. It all came in there. So we're going to go get it. And there's $30,000. We'll build you the studio, get you a drum set for Armand. We'll be able to have everything in there. It'll be awesome. But COVID changed the market a lot. So we couldn't get the workers because they were busy.
And just the stress of an audition, if anyone's done it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of oops that
So
went on.
it took us about till January. This was like in July and August. Took us till about January before we could get it all together, and the price had gone up to $45,000 to build the same thing because of it's not. We all have it. Here's another thing that I learned, and I never knew this. And Esther Perel, does anybody know that name? Brene Brown and Esther Perel do stuff together. But I learned something about comparative suffering. You can't do that, okay? If you have a problem and it feels challenging to you, don't go, well, at least I'm not starving. That's a wonderful little tool to help remind you how grateful you are. but you can't do comparative suffering. Your pain feels bad to you, period. How many people saw the movie Squirrel? How many people saw the movie Inside Out? Inside Out is one of the greatest spiritual, emotional, psychological movies in the whole world, okay? But what happens in a nutshell is the young girl is a lot like us. Joy, 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 joy down in my soul. She wants to be joy all the time. Don't you want to feel joy? Pain and grief and anger suck. So she doesn't want to feel them. But they're part of her. And if they don't get dealt with and met, her life is not going to work. She's going to become emotionally constipated of some sort. So they show in this animated Disney Pixar movie how important it is that she embraced her grief and her sadness and her anger and her disgust and all that. Again, you don't buy property there, but you got to deal with them. And so we have learned to deal with all this crazy stuff that's happened with our addition. It's still not built. We're probably a month away. I just got a text from the guy this morning. We failed another inspection. And sorry, I didn't tell you that yet.
It's okay.
It'll
we'll
get
talk
dealt
later,
with.
no.
But let me tell you, we have had to use our tools more than ever. And thank God. I got into New Thought around 84. You were 88 or 9 or something around the same time. Thank God, I don't know how regular people deal with this stuff that don't have these amazing teachings. And that's why the vitamin C that we get from coming here, the Vitamin Connect, and these tools and these principles are so valuable. So that idea that everything works out and that there's no such thing as rejection, a friend of ours, I don't know if she ever sang here, her name is Spring, but she used to travel doing the same kind of stuff that we do. And Spring said to me one time, there's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. And I thought, not only does that rhyme, which is awesome, because it's there's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Anyway, so it flows.
You know,
right?
Armand, that doesn't work with that jacket.
I identify as everything.
I know, you're right.
Well, I had this vision, this squirrel one morning, and the message was, I am non-binary. I am God. Right? Isn't that kind of cool? Because God, when I first heard Mother, Father, God, Father, Mother, God, my brain went, I'd never heard that. It was always a bearded guy kind of thing. And then when I realized, no, God, I don't know anybody's ever said that before. God is non-binary, but that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. God is everything, it's wonderful. So that's how God identifies. Well, I identify that I can wear this shirt and be a rapper.
There's pants that go with this, and so sometimes he wears the full suit.
Yeah, she told me, she says, it's going to really distract people if you wear the hood. But I did wear the shoes for the first time in honor of Tim. I just thought he's digging this right now. He is digging this right now. Okay, so that concept, again, works with everything. Every single time something doesn't go your way and you feel rejected, go ahead and feel it. Cry. Express it. One of the most important things when you're feeling negative, especially if it involves another person, is not to talk to them about it right then. Find somebody neutral, which a pillow and a bat can be neutral. But find something where you can release it but not on them, because you're probably not going to be your best. I know that we've spoken about, I now pronounce you not guilty before here, and it deals with that idea of not putting more shame and guilt into people's lives by telling them how they screwed up, okay? Get yourself filled up somewhere else first with a friend that's not connected. We've had so many amazing talks that I believe we're both more filled up than we would be had we not gotten together. And then you're going to be in a better position from a filled up standpoint to talk to that person about boundaries, important boundaries, okay? And so we have all these. We have these tools. We get to use them. So I'm thinking about that song. What else do we want to bring up about this before we go into the song?
Well, there might be something you might want to read.
One of the things that, and this is just me, but I am challenged when there's a speaker or a performer and they use the platform for self-promotion. It just bugs me. Anyway, I wrote this book. And I would like to read one page from that book. I Now Pronounce You Not Guilty by Armand. Okay. Forgiveness is the fragrance. That's the wrong. Oh, I'll go ahead and read that. I'm supposed to read that. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that crushed it. That's Mark Twain. I wish I wrote that. That's good. What's Mark Twain's real name? Samuel Clemens. Whoa. Okay. What's Donald Duck's middle name? Fauntleroy. Boom. Scared you. Okay. Faith in the system. Everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything. And that is the only time everything will be okay. Michael Singer, author of The Untethered Soul, one of our Bibles. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, has been said to stand for feeling all right in the heart. Feeling all right in the heart does not mean we always understand everything. It doesn't mean we don't get confused. It just means that we trust that, as John Lennon said, everything will be okay in the end. Being confused is okay. Thinking that there is something wrong with us for being confused is the problem. As Byron Katie says, how do I know it was meant to happen that way? Because it did. Okay. Now that sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Trust me, it's not easy in life to take that principle into what you're doing. So I am constantly using my tools. There's no such thing as rejection. Okay, it feels like rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. When I call a church and I can't get in, we were just talking, I've been trying to get into Unity Fort Myers for a while. We were in there a few years ago, and they saw me, and they haven't had us back. Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Self-deprecation, not cool. Cancel clear, cancel clear. I erased it. Okay, anyway, squirrel. So, but I've been having trouble getting in. And he says, why would you want to get into a place that you're having trouble getting into? Boy, out of the mouths of 40-year-olds, I'll tell you. Anyway, but I'm 60 now, so I can say that, yeah. I have started my 7th decade of life. Angelina always tells me, what do you tell me about your age?
Well, you always want to be older than you are.
Yeah.
So he says, like, he just turned 60. He's, I'm in my seventh decade.
So when she turned
So-
59, I said, you're in your 60th year.
So-
She goes, how old am I?
He confused. I never know how old I am because he says these kind of fun things.
You're 59 and a half.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's when we can start taking some of your IRA money out.
There you go.
All right, so anyway, squirrel. That principle is a wonderful idea. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction, okay? And I do not need to be concerned about places that don't love and accept me the way I am. I teach it, I preach it, I should live it. Again, it's a progress, not perfection kind of thing. But it helped me that you said that. It helps me. And that happens all the time. There's a ton of quote unquote rejection in what I do. You know, I call places all the time, and the timing might not be right, or they're in between ministers, or they haven't just got a new minister, or their minister heard of me, you know. Anyways, so I'll picture me in these shoes. But that kind of stuff just happens. And so not only did that song, that little phrase become a rap, but one day I started singing it. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Na, 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 na. And I realized I had written a pirate song. We did a lot of pirate stuff last night. It was really, really fun. I don't think I have any more pirate songs, pirate jokes. I think I ran out of them. I told them all last night. I did learn a new one that she told me. I can't say it in a mixed company right now. But I remember it. So anyway, I said we should sing a song. That if we sing it, because there's an old saying, if you speak, you pray once. If you sing, you pray twice. We should sing these words, and we did this for years and years and years. There's no such thing as rejection. Then one day I'm driving in the van a few years ago, probably 2017, and I said, when she hears this all the time, please get out a pen and paper. Something's coming to me. I'm squirreling a thought. So we do that, and we write all this stuff down. And so this is the song we're going to close this service with. Not the whole service. There's other stuff going on, but this is the song. By the way, there's a potluck today. Where two or more are gathered, have a potluck. Say that. And then we'll be doing a full version of our meditation today where Angelina's going to place the harp on everybody and play it. I think we did this back in 2018 or 2019 when we were here, and we were talking with Melissa, and she says, I think that's what people need to have, that kind of musical healing right now, so we're doing that at 12:30. Anyway, so if you want to sing along, there's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction, and we will sing it pirate style. Arr. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. Hey! There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. On the day that I was born and slapped upon my cheeks, you think that I would ascertain the world is rather bleak, when I heard a voice of wisdom and in my ear would ring, don't think the world is against you, there's no such thing. Don't think the world is against you, there's no such thing. Your turn. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. At an early age, I knew true love would be my quest. Though many trials and tribulations put me to the test, there were a dozen lovely maidens, much heartache they would bring. I thought the world was against me, but there's no such thing. I thought the world was against me, but there's no such thing. Here we go. There's no such thing as rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. It's never rejection. It's God pointing us in another direction. I'm moving through my renaissance into my middle ages, becoming fully realized. I trust my inner sages. My quest is done, I found my bride. This holy grail I bring. The world was never against me. There's no such thing. The world was never against me, and there's no such thing. Your turn. What's the pirate's favorite letter? You'd think it was R, but we fancy the C.
Good morning, I'm Kay Atwood, and I'm part of the Leadership Council. What a hard act to follow. Oh, thank you, Armin and Angelina, for the magic you bring and the joy. We are so blessed to have you. And this is our time of conscious giving, and I'd like to start out thanking those of you who are donating to make it possible to have wonderful speakers, performers come to us, and we are just thrilled every week to see what's next. And you make it possible by your donations and tithes. And I want you to know that we do practice the law of circulation, So a portion of what you give goes back into the community. And this quarter, we are donating a portion every week to Hearts and Homes for Veterans. So it's an excellent organization and very apropos, especially since November is Veterans Day month. Veterans Day month, whatever. You know what I mean. We celebrate veterans. But anyway, so there are different ways that you can donate. You can text to Tithe 239-320-3820. Send your contribution through PayPal at paypal@cslcapecoral.org. Go to our website, cslcapecoral.org, and use the donate button. You can shop on Amazon, smile.amazon.com, and designate Center for Spiritual Living as your charity of choice, or mail a check to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And now, if you have a donation, please hold it against your heart, or just place your hand on your heart and say this affirmation with me. Today I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And now I speak a word of blessing over the tithes. With appreciation and love, I accept these offerings and gifts. Divine love through me blesses each gift and each giver. I know that all that has been given here circulates to do great works, both within this spiritual community and in the world at large. Standing in gratitude, I release these words. So please join me in saying, and so it is. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Melissa Tuff, and I'm one of the practitioners here, and I also serve on the Leadership Council, and it is my great pleasure to bring you our announcements this week. So, for all of our upcoming events, you can always visit cslcapecoral.org, click on the Events tab, and you'll be taken to our calendar, and you can register and view anything that's upcoming here at the center. So, the first thing on our docket is we have a new book in the Prosperity Consciousness book study. Our wonderful practitioners, Malika Davey and Linda Lloyd, are facilitating this group. And this is from 3:30 to 5 on Tuesdays. They will be reading and discussing the book Mental Equivalence by Emmett Fox. If you've never read that book, it is a wonderful book on manifestation. So if you would like to join that group, you can go and register on our website. It is a $30 per month suggested love donation, and hopefully all of you can join. And we had a great time at the concert last night, but if you missed it, you can visit www.Armand and Angelina for their tour schedule, and be sure to catch them while they're out on the road. And be sure to stick around today. If you liked the meditation, or if you missed the meditation this morning, that was just a little sample of what you're going to get at that harp, angel harp, and native flute meditation later. It is following potluck, and it is a $20 suggested love offering, and we would love to see all of you there. And if you don't have any plans for Thanksgiving, we will be here. Come and break bread with your spiritual family. Dinner will be served at 3 p.m. We're supplying 2 15-pound turkeys, and you just need to bring a side. So if you don't have any plans, come on by for Thanksgiving. And now I would like to invite Linda Lloyd to come up and talk about her meditation retreat.
Good morning, everybody. I know I see some of you here that were at the last retreat, and I have committed myself to doing these quarterly, and because of Thanksgiving, we pushed it just a little tiny bit, so we're doing it the first weekend after Thanksgiving. So you should all be back from being out of town or doing whatever you're doing and be here, where we're going to have lots of fun. We are having someone come and play crystal bowls for us, Jenny Hong. I don't know if any of you have ever listened to her. She's amazing. She's going to be here with us. And we're going to be doing all kinds of fun other things. So please visit the website and sign up, or just show up. And it is a $40 love donation. But don't let that stop you. If you absolutely can't, we want you here anyway. So just come and talk to me and see me. You were there last time, right, Melissa? So you want to give a little word about it?
So if you're new to meditation, or if you're an experienced meditator, this is just a great way to sort of recharge yourself. And because it's at the end of the year, we were thinking it is a great way to kind of kickstart your new year. I've been to plenty of half-day meditation retreats, and we did the last one, and we actually added added an hour to this one because it did not feel long enough. So this meditation retreat is just going to be wonderful. We've got several different methods of meditation. So like I said, if you're new to it and you're trying to figure out a form that'll work for you, then this is a great way to start, because you'll get all of the different types of meditation in like one half day. And refreshments will be provided. So we definitely hope to see you there. Like Linda said, you can register on the website, or you can come and talk to one of us, and we'll get you all set up for that. And it does say 10 to 2 on there, but it's 10 to 3, and that was my bad. I forgot to change the slide.
So, and as most of you know, I am a chef, so I will be catering the event, so there'll be good stuff to eat. So there's another thing. And it's not going to be all me, so I'm just going to be guiding it. Valerie's going to be singing with us, and Barbara, I think, is going to be serenading us on the piano again. And Karen is guiding us in a meditation. And so all kinds of fun things. And weather permitting, we are going to have a group walk outside together. So that's just some of the stuff we're going to be doing. So I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. All right, and then the next item up on our events is we are going to have a holiday craft fair and rummage sale. So part of our process of creating the space for a new minister is to release a lot of the stuff that we're not using. And we have some clutter. So if you have some clutter you need to release, or if you're an artist or crafter that you have some goods you like to sell, join us Saturday, December 11th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for our craft fair and rummage sale. 10 by 10 spaces are available for just $10, and if you need to rent a table, that's just an extra $10, and you can register for this on our website, or you can come talk to me and I'll get you all set up. Our food drive is continuing, so you can drop off your non-perishable donations Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2 when I'm in the office, and Wednesdays during midweek tune-up, or you can bring them in on Sunday morning. All of those donations go to Cape Coral Caring Center. Excuse me. And we have donated over 2,000 pounds of food this year. So they have been very, very appreciative. In addition, we also were making some financial contributions to them for the year. So we've given them, I want to say it was over $1,200, I think. So they were also very appreciative of the food gifts and the money, because obviously people are in need right now, and so it is a good time to be doing that. So if you go to the store and you have those BOGO deals or something, keep one for yourself and then come drop one off, because there are people who are a little less fortunate and are in need, and we like to continue to give back. And don't leave today without your 1-minute miracle. Practitioners will be available up front following service, so let us lift you up in prayer. If there's something that is heavy on your heart, or something you just want to manifest more of, we want to pray with you. So come and find us up front, and we will be happy to do a treatment with you. And now it's time for Standing in the Light. So Mr. Patrick, would you please come back up? You know the whole Standing in the Light spiel.
Okay, now is the time for Standing in the Light. Our practitioners are making their way up to the front of the room right now, and they will be available to you following the celebration for prayer. We stand in the light. We are knowing the truth of a situation, a condition, and we claim the outcome that we wish to see, not the problem. And I invite you all to share what you are standing in the light for. I am standing in the light for the Centers for Spiritual Living, knowing we are on the precipice of great new beginnings.
I'm standing in the light for national civility.
I invite you to speak your own name into this sacred space. Now I invite you to speak the name of a loved one into this space. I am standing in the light for all the unspoken prayers, knowing that everything is perfect, whole, and complete, just as it is. And as I speak these words, I know that we are all one. And it's in that one that we find our peace, our love, our commitment, and our joy. And as I release these words into the law of mind, with great gratitude, I anchor them by saying, and so it is.
And so it is.
Just sing another round of Armand's pirate song. Have a good day, enjoy potluck, and hang around for the heart meditation.